Andrew Schultz is a real pervert. I listened to a clip where he fantasizes about sexually violating Kendrick Lamar. To make matters worse, he creates this twisted scenario where Kendrick Lamar is in a baby state. He talks about putting him on his knee and feeding him a bottle like he's a baby, then proceeds to talk about making love with him. That dark, degenerate fantasy reeks of pedo behavior. Sexually violating him is a way to exercise his power over him. Kendrick is a rebel and woke king, as Schultz sneers. He has to mock him, violate him, to bring him down a few notches. He wants to knock that crown off. But see, Kendrick is self-aware. He's confident and he doesn't have an inferiority complex. He's a black man from a black community that makes music to celebrate black culture and achievement. His music is inspiring, informative, and empowering. He's a leader, and racist, white supremacist types like Andrew Schultz can't stomach that. They feel threatened when black people are aware of their greatness, aware of what they have achieved historically, aware of what atrocities they have overcome, the legacies that we have in this country and abroad, the power that we have. It's why he feels so inclined to mock us. He mocked black women in the past with insulting stereotypes that ultimately diminish black women's value. And most recently, he's attempted to do the same thing with Kendrick Lamar. From my understanding, it was Kendrick's act of speaking out in protection of black women that set this whole thing off. Because how dare this black man tell him, a white man, what to say? In his mind, white men are supreme and black men are second class. So he attempted to publicly humiliate Kendrick. You see, Kendrick is one of those uppity Negroes. So he has to put Kendrick in his place, which is below him. This is what used to happen on plantations. It was called buck breaking. Slave owners would pick the biggest, strongest male slaves and sexually violate them to break their spirit to fight back and rebel. Slave women were violated as well. They were objectified and used for breeding. A similar act continued post-slavery with lynching picnics. White families would gather to celebrate the execution of black men. The main stage, if you will, would feature having a strong buck strung up so that he could be brutally beaten, hanged, sometimes shot until his body was riddled with bullets, and other times burned alive so that his body was so charred that he became unrecognizable. Their body parts, and particularly a specific body part, would often be removed and kept as souvenirs. So this lineage of sexualizing and or fetishizing black people, in this case, a black man, is nothing new. Schultz is following a pattern of behavior demonstrated by his degenerate, vile ancestors who were equally aroused at the thought of sexually violating black men, all to preserve white patriarchy.